What you gonna do when we come for you? Come!
Hello and welcome to Eastern Marshlands, an evening with comrades. Tonight we have with us Eugene.
How's it going, everybody? Nice to see you, everyone.
We also have Possadist Pacman.
Yep, I'm back. Accelerate the dialectic.
For the first time tonight we also have Paul. Welcome, Paul.
Hey guys, what's up?
Joining
Welcome
us
back,
later,
Paul.
Joining us later will be Goulash guy, and
Hell
I
yeah.
will be your host, TK Jones. Don't forget to like and subscribe and smash the like button and the bell button. Tonight we're going to be talking about what happened in 2017, how we can learn from it, and how it's going to bite us in the ass for 2018. How are we all, lads?
Oh, lordy. Who wants to go first?
Well,
I think may I start? I
Yeah.
have been
Yeah.
on a no
Go
sleep,
on.
some wine, video games binge for 3 days now. Still standing. I think the only thing that keeps me alive in the moment is literally coffee and wine and pizza. That's the only thing that usually keeps me alive, but especially now. I'm on a live line of this shit. Like, I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. I'm preparing for a beautiful year. I'm really, like, despite all the shit that is going down, I'm really optimistic. Worst case scenario, it's going to be really fun.
oh, maybe it's the wine, though.
Maybe it's the wine, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the
Just
wine. Fending off my depression. Like,
Yeah.
it will kick me in a day, and I'll be really, like, crippled
like-
by it.
Play some video games. Eat some pizza. Don't let the existential dread get in. Don't let it get in. Play some more video games.
Well, my
Exactly.
existential dread is pretty much permanent, so let's be honest.
Yeah.
You could
Understandable.
have tried some hard drugs, though, man.
Yeah,
They
it's
can
always
help.
like I can always go into heroin, just like do a jump.
Yeah.
We're
Now,
only like a couple of minutes in, and we've already lost our monetization.
That's all right.
hey, FBI! I'm seriously doping up on MDMA, so just let me know when you show up. All right. The men in blue suits. Oh my god! Is that right, Helmet? Your face? Sorry. Okay, maybe that was a little too far. I apologize.
Well,
Oh,
from my side was a really boring celebration because I tried to join some of my old friends, and they were really boring. They're also liberal, so it's double boredom, double fuck up because of the topics. There was me sitting on the sofa, and those guys talking some shit, and me trying not to react to this.
liberal baiting is the worst.
I know.
Yeah.
I get
We're having a fucking small talk, and they're like skipping to ethnical cleansing or something, and I'm like, whoa, what?
ethnic cleansing. Whoa!
Yeah, where did that come from?
You
They're
said
just,
liberals,
talking
right?
about, Bernie Sanders is he a socialist. You leave the room to grab a drink. You come back, and they're drawing SWAT stickers on the walls. They're Sieg Heiling.
Oh, yo, boys.
Oh,
What a
Goulash.
time.
Oh, Goulash
Hello,
guy.
Goulash.
Hey, Goulash.
Hi. Yeah, I've got to just come back from doing some gardening. That's fun.
We were
You
just.
too.
Are you going primitivist?
No,
Self-sufficienist primitivist?
we're doing a bit of construction out the back.
Oh,
Bit of family work.
okay.
Nice.
That's nice.
I hope it's a nuclear fucking shelter because, dude, this year will end up with the nuclear holocaust.
Wait, did somebody
Like,
say
this is the
nuclear
first
holocaust? You're getting me all excited now. This is my area.
So,
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about North Korean shit. Like,
Oh,
'cause
no.
have you heard about that? So Goulash, today's topic is everything that happened last year that is going to bite us in the ass this year. And like one of the biggest things, in my opinion, is Trump and North Korea. I am so fucking irritated by the actions of the West with North Korea. Like, people actually asked us to talk about anti-imperialism on Discord, and I think it will be a very interesting thing to talk about, because have you heard about this crazy thing that Kim Jong-un said on his New Year's address?
Oh, I watched it. Yeah.
I remember he said that he has the button on his desk.
Yeah, but that's not the most irritating, and crazy thing that he said. The craziest thing that he said is that they are only going to use nuclear weapons as a self-defense against America. Insanity. Wow, I was so shocked by this fucking revelation, you know. when you go in the fucking comments, people are like completely ignoring it, and I think everybody's completely ignoring the fact that North Korea is there, like literally just trying to defend itself.
I think everyone is ignoring the fact that North Korea is there, actually.
I honestly forgot they existed, to be honest.
I think throughout
just completely.
Throughout 2017, there was always this image of escalation, the old Cold War feeling of oh man, it's a lovely day. Be a shame if Trump's incompetency started World War III. But I mean, now that if this is true, that there's a button on his desk, Kim Jong-un could trip over, push the button, and destroy the entire world.
I'm not gonna lie.
Level of incompetency.
I'm not gonna lie. I am sort of expecting a Ben Garrison comic where it'll be Kim Jong-un. There'll be out the window. There'll be all these starving people. He'll be eating a Subway or something, a foot-long, bacon burger or whatever, and then with his elbow, he'll push down the button and go oh no, whoops! I'm expecting to see something like that.
One of the meatballs of his meatball sub just flops out onto
falls
the
on the
button.
button. It's oh no, he's fat. Get it?
Yeah.
In regards to, I might actually have to go out and help with construction in a bit. But one of the things that, in the regards to things that might come back and bite us, apart from the sort of feeling of is Trump gonna start World War III? ? I think that feeling is always kind of going to be here, and I think we can just expect more of that. To be honest, I think ultimately I'm not what are the dudes with the crystal balls? Not the genie, a fortune teller. That's it. I don't know. I don't think any of us can have an accurate this is exactly what's going to happen next year. Oh, sorry, this year. So, I mean, I'm not going to make any calls that I can't back up. But at the same time, I think we'll just get 2017 maybe on steroids.
Well, maybe. I mean, my accelerationist tendencies are really hoping, really hoping. Let's be honest, but I know that it's not really going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, because it was a really nice comparison with Cold War, because the first thing about the Cold War is bluff, and I think that what is going on now is bluff, and nothing more than it.
I wouldn't say that far. I think honestly, I know I said it before on one of the other live streams, but I'll be honest with this whole North Korea and USA thing. I'm just having massive Monty Python flashbacks, literally. It's just literally, it's just, Kim Jong-un's like, my nuke is bigger, and Trump's like, well, that's bigger. No, mine is bigger. That's bigger. And then just suddenly Billy Connolly or whatever, no, John Cleese sticks his head around the corner. Get on with it! Just
get on with it!
Get on with it!
Just drop it! Just drop the bomb. I don't care if you will shut the fuck up. I don't care who you nuke. Just get on with it. Please.
It's like two
Accelerate the
dudes in
violence
Macca's car
and-
park trying to square up to one another, but neither of them will throw a punch. And they're trying to get like 50 of their mates down to the car park to back them up before they do anything.
I'm glad that we've really. I'm glad that for the Australian audience, we've certainly like solidified the analogy. Now it's just what's the American version of a Macca's puncher?
I don't know. No, I don't know. All I'm getting images in my head now is like, with China and with the US with NATO and all that sort of thing. It's like it's not just two guys in a Macca's car park. It's two wogs in a Macca's car park. I'll get my cousins, man. I'll get them over here. I'll fucking get my boys. We're gonna fucking end you, bro. We're gonna end you.
I suppose that's sort of what the Cold War was, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
You walk into the gym and there are Italians, and you accidentally bump into them, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to fight?" And you're just sort of like, and then you just sort of stare at each other for a bit, and nothing ever happens.
Well, yeah.
and then there are some Asian guys who always suffer, and yeah.
It's the guys for some reason get some part of this conversation.
Actually, no. Pretty much. I think that, as I said before, I forgot about North Korea. The reason I did is because I've come to the conclusion that the tankies are right. There is only one Korea. Let's be frank here. Let's just
the autonomous Pinyin region.
Not.
Oh, it's just an anarchist, one anarchist for a bit, and then it just disappeared for no reason.
Yes, bring it back.
It shows up in like the 18th century and then woof, gone.
Yeah, it just disappears for no reason. I don't know what happened to those anarchists. Like, no, there were no anarchists. What are you talking about?
No, the one Korea I'm talking about is the one where our glorious leader is patient and allows the South to live. He allows.
Basically.
Isn't he kind and wise and generous?
Well,
Okay, so
he allows the sun to rise and so on and so forth.
He allows the sun to rise.
Do you think at any point in 2018 we'll see like North Korea and the US going to the diplomacy table, or are they just gonna go back and forth at one another with this
remember
posturing?
I remember a couple of months ago, Donald Trump at one point he on Twitter, because his Twitter is just a goldmine. He was like, "Why did Kim Jong-un call me fat? I want to talk to him. I want to be his friend," or it was something like that. And
What?
I think I can't find the exact tweet. I'll look for it. But like regarding diplomacy between America and North Korea, I don't think we're going to see any fantastic breakthroughs. If there are, it'll just be like, can you imagine Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un like at a table together? Can you like Chairman Mao and Richard Nixon? That was a shock to the world. Like no one had thought like, whoa, America going to China. But I can't see North Korea and America. I can't see Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. I can't see him walking around North Korea shaking hands with officials. I cannot see that happening.
It can happen because it's diplomacy and everything can happen. So I don't know. It's not about the political alliance, or maybe it's not about these sides. It's about the dialogue, and I really like to see them at the table.
Oh, I'd love to see it as well, but like,
Yeah.
I can visualize it if I like close my eyes and try hard enough. But in regards to like America's foreign diplomacy, I think that's something that's sort of come to bite America on the ass. Is Donald Trump in terms of like,
I agree with that. Yeah, their military doctrine is really aggressive. I mean, their defensive one, the new one. Have you guys heard?
Oh, what? Who? Mad Dog Mattis, or you're talking about the U.S. Secretary of Defense?
Yeah.
James Mattis is still Secretary of Defense, isn't he?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Well, he's if I was to like unironically, filthy commie though I am, I think of all the appointments Trump has made, he's the only one I actually agree with.
Who are you referring to again? Excuse me, educate me on the question. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's talking about the new Secretary of Defense that Trump appointed when it began, Marine Corps General James Mattis.
Okay.
I think he's the only the only appointment of his that I agree with, purely because of the fact that he actually is a soldier, or was. Normally there's some party bureaucrat hack who sort of takes over. James Mattis, from what I've read of his stuff, he's an American soldier, so let's be honest, the imperialism is still very, very fucking real. But of all the choices he could have picked, he isn't McNamara and he isn't Rumsfeld. That's what I'm basically saying. He's actually a professional soldier. And was.
When I look back at further back at the Cold War itself, we have people like giants of diplomacy who understand who actually think of it in chess terms of we're going to be 10 moves ahead with this thing, we're going to be competent with this, or else millions of people could die. But then I look at Trump, and Trump's like a skinny guy with very low body fat percentage, so he thinks he has abs, trying to square off with the crazy hobo on the street. Because he's like, oh, I'll try to fight someone. I'll fight you. Come on, throw the first punch. So if he backs down, he looks like a dick. But if he keeps going, nothing's going to happen. So I don't think Trump is going to de-escalate. He's going to keep it at this no you kind of thing.
That's precisely the problem I think we have here, is that Trump has pushed it too far, and now he won't be able to back down. I think, in terms of North Korea, despite my accelerationist tendencies, I think the truth of the matter here is that eventually I do see within the next, if not this year, within the next 3 years, I do see, if North Korea keeps escalating the way it is, I can see the US launching a conventional strike, at least. Perhaps to attacking their nuclear program. Possibly.
I think that in terms of Americans, Trump will not be able to escalate this for too long, because he's losing popularity by an hour right now, and I think it's not gonna play well for him, this escalation thing.
Well, a lot of people want war with North Korea. Some people I know.
Well, it's Australians, because of course they want some fucking fireworks to happen.
I'm talking American.
American ones.
Americans I've spoken to, a lot of them. Actually, no, that's not true. I did speak in my job. I work in telecommunications, as I've said before on this stream, so I talk to a lot of Australians every day. I did speak to a veteran from Afghanistan, who actually did say that there is some sentiment in NATO militaries, at least, that they want to settle 1951. They want to settle the score, basically. But they're trained soldiers. Their sole purpose is to fight. Should we be really surprised that that's what they want to do? But I think that, in all honesty, I can see Trump being able to escalate the situation, mainly because the US public never shy away from a good war. Let's be honest. In the short term, at least, if they can justify it, the American public always loves a good war.
They will do it. Yep.
A glorious war.
Because it stimulates the economy. That's what.
Two things before I might have to dip out back. But I think when you have, first of all, America first, I think that you don't even need to say anything about that doctrine. It speaks for itself. It's literally America first in the most base sense of the word. Second of all,
exceptionalism.
Second of all, in terms of Donald Trump, I don't want to make any predictions, because that'll look bad if I get it wrong, and I hate losing. But if they start a war, he'll get reelected. That's always happened. It happened with Bush, and so on and so forth. If there's a war, you get reelected. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I'm a peaceful man. Anarcho-pacifist gang roll out. But
Don't roll out. Stay home.
Don't do anything. We're the real life chairs. I'm not ANPAC. But I do see the situation sort of like reaching that boiling point, but not too sure where it's going to go from there. I mean, in terms, Donald Trump isn't exactly the master diplomat to take up the arms of Metternich. He's not a smooth man in that regard. Like it's Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump. It's literally the man.
I think the reason Donald Trump.
I'm sorry to interrupt, my dudes, but I think that it's necessary to regard North Korea as as an add-on to China. I mean, China is the bigger problem right now for America than North Korea, and work with North Korea will trigger something, at least something with China.
Anarcho-Dengis gang.
Anarcho-Dengism. Anarchy with Chinese characteristics.
Is that really
Yeah,
anarchy,
we have
though?
been ignoring China. We have been ignoring China, actually.
Boys.
Like-
Yeah.
You have to go now?
I mean,
Okay.
fuck.
See you, Goulash. All right.
Yeah,
So
see ya.
yeah, we have been ignoring China.
Yeah, then
Like
that's,
China
that's,
is a big player. Like it's a big player geopolitically, and those are the guys who. Yeah.
North Korea is like a puppet state, Chinese puppet state. May we say
Not
so?
really geopolitically, maybe geopolitics from a geopolitical standpoint, maybe we can claim that. I don't know.
In fact, North Korea is blocked. Everyone blocks North Korea except Russia and China. And China, was always there. And in fact, it's kind of puppet state of China because China has a really great influence on it.
I think that's mainly because they don't want North Korea to collapse and to have a refugee situation where hundreds of thousands of people are flooding over the border into China.
Mm-hmm.
So they're less trying to puppet them and just prop them up a little bit.
Yeah, like don't forget about the fucking Americans because China still wants to stay as further away from Americans as possible, and
Don't forget
Korea's...
about the fucking Anglos, man. Fucking Anglos.
Yes, they're always the fucking Yanks, dude. The Yanks don't like Anglos, but worse. And Yanks are always near, and they're like, you know what? We don't want fucking Yank nuclear weapons on our borders. Like, it's bad enough that they are now in South Korea. Like, it's not good because we keep forgetting that there are nuclear weapons that America has in South Korea.
But I mean, how large is Korea? I mean, peninsula.
Well, not
It's not
very.
really-
And they can strike China, obviously, but they don't really want to have like outright fucking troops on their borders, you know, and they don't really want to have
Filled with
give them, you know-
parasites, man.
Well,
exactly.
no, one of my favorite things I saw was it was in my video that I made recently.
Subscribe to Positive Pacman on YouTube.
Yep, plug, mad plug. No, it's just memes. It's literally just memes. Well, except one video. But anyway, the big thing I saw was the Australian foreign minister was asked by a news reporter, you know, well, the US military has put in place the THAAD system in South Korea. Now, for those of you who don't know what THAAD is, a THAAD system is essentially, I can't remember what its exact designation is, but point is, it's an anti-ballistic missile system. It intercepts and shoots down intercontinental ballistic missiles. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I had a weapon that I'm sure you understand that if the Chinese nuclear silos are in their hinterlands up in the northern mountainous regions, where I don't know, near North Korea is. So let's be real. You have the world's largest superpower putting weapons that reduce or nullify your only strategic counter to their imperialist hegemony in your region. They're putting weapons that counter your only defense against their imperialism in your region, in your sphere of control. And the Australian foreign minister had this to say, and I quote Julie Bishop directly. When asked by the person, China, isn't China being worried about this threat to their own nuclear deterrent to the United States? Well, no, actually. The Chinese should be very happy that the Americans and the South Koreans have an alliance like this in place in which they can destroy a North Korean missile should it threaten the Western world. They should be happy. They should be happy
What the
that
fuck?
an intercontinental ballistic missile counter is right off their fucking border. I mean, the Americans are out of their goddamn minds.
I mean, guys, inhabitants of Kosovo really should be happy too. Should have been happy too, because they were freed from the hegemony of Serbians. Yeah. I mean, this rhetoric is old as world right now, and it's really ridiculous. I mean, wow.
It's
I know,
crazy,
but it's
and like,
it's so offensive to my ears.
yeah, it's crazy, and like, actually, yeah, like North Korea is such a. Like, this is actually an argument I wanted to make. Like, one of the biggest things I think that is may happen in this year with the North Korean thing is, that America will basically increase the military presence in the region overall. They will attempt to be as involved in the issues as possible, and they will use North Korea as the reason for it. It's like, hey, America, why the fuck is there a giant fucking military fleet right outside our borders? Oh, North Korea,
Yeah, it's like
big boys
terrorism,
with
man.
nukes,
Well,
like terrorism. War on terrorism is not really relevant anymore because they already fucked up Middle East.
America,
now-
why are you
now-
sending this giant fleet of aircraft carriers past us? Ah, North Korea. They're on the way somewhere else, though. But, we're dropping by North Korea. Wink, wink. Why are you winking at me? You're the... What?
Funnily enough, I'm actually playing Civilization right now, and it's like armies near their borders. Why are your troops there? We're just passing through. Everything's fine. Do not panic. Everything's cool.
America is trying to store their RAM inside China's walls.
I can tell you that, yeah.
Age of Empires
If
all
we
over
look
it.
at we'll see what China is looking with their attempt to have a stronger grasp, like Chinese state having a stronger grasp on the economy and whatnot. All this rhetoric about going back to Stalin socialism is really silly. I don't believe in that. I really don't believe. All I believe that is China attempts to be as strong economically as possible, to have a stronger grasp on the capitalism as possible, to basically leverage their potential and go full imperialist like they always wanted to. They already buying up land worldwide. They already are funding them, like building military bases in Africa and buying government there. And now they will have even more of that shit. And now America can use North Korea as a reason to enforce the rule. Not even wage war. War is the last fucking case scenario. Just to put as much of the pressure and force on the region overall. It's like China will be hesitant to do much stuff if they have so much fucking anti-ballistic missile shit on the in South Korea and in, for example, Japan. If they have so much military all around, if they have so much attention, of the whole world, it could be the whole North Korean thing could be just a giant chess move against China.
It does seem like Trump's incompetency with the US and foreign policy means that China's taken this advantage and has used its very slow and hidden build-up and has suddenly gone, oh yeah, America's stupid. You should look to us to be the leaders of the free world now. If you want a peace deal in, I don't know, Israel, you should have China be the broker of peace. You want protection in Africa, you want China's military in a base in your land in Africa.
Yeah.
That's
on one side, this is how they can play it. Yeah. But in my opinion, actually, it's America trying to do that, and they're trying to stop China by using North Korea as a reason to enforce the fucking imperialism on the region.
Yeah, but
China can play it this way. It will be really interesting.
That's not Tiki's point. He told that by doing this, America ruins its reputation, and people more likely choose China. Then again.
Yeah, I understand that. But like, I don't really think that. Like, I don't know what China will be doing, because my point is actually that America will be a winner in the situation. Like, because they
Well,
are
I don't
allowed
think
more
so.
stuff if North Korea exists. You know, it's
I
like
don't
with
think
terrorism
so.
and
Ah.
you know.
I don't think so, because yeah, we have this NATO bloc, which is really mainly America. We have this civilized quote unquote world, and we have China that is more. I think it's right now it's more flexible. It's more thriving than America and Europe both, and I think it has really a lot more potential. And I would love to, personally, me, if China would rule the world, I would love to live in it.
I'm not sure
Why
I would.
though?
But then again,
Why?
we need to understand something very important, and that is the sweatshops are a myth.
Uh,
Do not buy into anti-Chinese propaganda. I can't believe there are
Yeah.
leftists today who believe that shit. Excuse me, is my irony too strong here? Sorry.
Oh my god, I have people like this on Twitter that I follow, and they're like, "Oh, look at China moving towards socialism every day." And I'm like, "Okay, have a nice day, dude." I'm just scrolling past.
Enjoy your
Look,
block.
Okay.
Yeah, don't enjoy your block. Enjoy your fucking delusional fucking holiday that you're on.
No, I'm sorry.
That you're not coming back from for some reason.
I don't care. I am getting major fucking, call me filthy puppet of imperialism if you want. I am not the only one who's getting major Orwellian vibes over that social ranking system they're doing. But it's just
Oh.
Western propaganda. It's not real. No, they're actually fucking
not real.
rolling it out.
What is it about? Tell the people.
Okay, well, basically the Chinese government is introducing like a ranking system for their citizens, where like if you do good things, such as if you work in a certain profession, if you have a certain education level, if you don't commit crime, like as in minor crime like jaywalking or something like that, like you earn like social points. But
Oh.
This is just an episode of Black Mirror now.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's just like Black Mirror. Fuck.
yeah,
Oh
but,
my god, they're trying to LARP as Black Mirror.
yeah, but this is the thing. Like I thought, when I heard this, I actually did think it was imperialist propaganda. I'm like, no fucking way. And then I looked it up, and yeah, I'm just thinking,
Well, shit.
hold on a fucking minute. I mean, I try to like, when I think about it, I'm like, oh fucking god, like it is literally Orwellian. And then I sort of think about it, but then I hear tankies advocating for the same thing, like in a lot of ways. Like when you think about all the sort of like government institutions over the world, the digital age has allows for a level of control and surveillance, especially thought control, far more than anything else. And I reckon, for example, I saw a documentary on can't remember where it was. It was on a public channel about streamers in China.
Mm-hmm.
And they have an entire industry of manufactured streamers. Nationalized fucking streamers, for fuck's sake.
Oh, fucking hell.
No, I'm not even kidding. For real. And like
Nationalized shit posters.
exactly.
Yeah, like
But-
Kremlin bots.
Yeah, but they
Oh.
actually had to they actually have to conform to laws set down for streams by the state. They pay taxes on lots of stuff. They like they can say this, they can say that, they can't say this, they can't say that. There are actually like streaming houses where like companies, some of them run by the state actually, pick out young like the Chinese equivalent of YouTube, can't remember what it is. They find out young streamers who are actually making a bit of a splash, and then the government tries to co-opt them into becoming a mouthpiece of the regime. And if you say or do anything slightly that the party disapproves on, they revoke your streaming license and block you and IP ban you.
I have a question. I have a legit question. Would PewDiePie be executed for his deeds in China or not?
Oh man, PewDiePie gets the wall. PewDiePie was sentenced to the wall in fucking exile.
Jesus Christ.
He will first be deported into Mongolia and then shot there.
From the wall.
Yeah, from China. By a sniper.
Some sniper on the Great Wall of China.
Go into the fucking Inner Mongolia and he's running there in a giant fucking field, and then
Yeah.
Chinese
You have 10 minutes to run.
No, here's
Exactly.
the thing. I know this is the oldest meme on the entire fucking internet, but I will share it anyway, just for my own self-satisfaction. Like, it was when Trump was getting elected, and he's like, "Look, we're gonna build a wall. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be great. Gonna build a great big fucking wall, right?" And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna compete with foreign investors. We're gonna put tariffs on imports. We're gonna compete directly with China." And I'm sort of thinking to myself, if I wanted to build a massive fuck off wall, who would I call?
Chinese people?
I was thinking, like, who else do I know has built a giant fuck off wall to thousands of illegal immigrants?
Well,
Look, the Mongolians aren't
People on
sending their best.
horses
They're
with,
not
like,
sending their best. They're
people-
sending their
You know-
rapists,
you know
their
what?
warriors,
You know
their
what,
murderers.
But the thing about Chinese people before Ming, before the wall, they used to build giant fucking ships. They were so giant that there were no equivalent to them in like maybe several centuries from the European side.
Well,
And,
hey, you know what? I heard they were junk.
oh, I have physical pain.
Made in China.tm. Continue.
Oh my god. Okay, so
yeah, but I wanted to go back a bit to those Chinese citizen class system. Economically, it's kind of not a bad idea. If not to regard it from a social side.
I was gonna say, what development in horseshoe theory is this?
So, is it not a kind of a socialist graduation? Clearly socialist when when you get some kind of working points, depending on your education, depending on your profession, depending on your whatsoever.
Yeah, yes and no, in my opinion. Like, in this case,
is this person seeking out an education being rewarded for using their own initiative, or if they don't seek out this education, are they forced into a life of destitution? That's the flip
Yeah.
side.
That's a real question.
That's the latter, I think, because what happens is, like, if, for example, say you have a social score of, say, 80. Say the top score is 100. You have a social score of 80. The only reason why you're not a level 90 or a level 100 is because you didn't join the Young Pioneers until you were 16.
Shit like this isn't it isn't good.
You know what I mean?
It's
like,
basically like Soviet Union social conditioning, but in electronic form with trackable numbers.
Yeah, but here's
Terrible.
the thing, right? It's not just restricted to you. That's what's so scary about it. Like, you can go, okay, because they have the Chinese version of Facebook. Might it even be called Leftbook? Hey, no. Anyway, in all seriousness, like, they have like this ranking system where it's all like, okay, so you've got a score of 80. You're a lower middle class professional. You work in an office or whatever, for a tire company, for example. Let's say that you work 12 hours a day for the motherland with 2 breaks. Everything's great. You got bonus last month because you made a trade deal or whatever, and it's all going well for you. You have a score of 80, but your mate down the hall only has 60 points because he got into trouble with the party Polizei as a kid for defacing a now or something.
I saw this episode of Black Mirror, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's Black Mirror. It's Black Mirror. Fucking hell.
It literally is. Like, he graffitied on a picture of Mao when he was 10, and he got in trouble with the Stats Polizei or whatever. And then, because he's level 60 and you're level 80, by associating with him, you're level 70. because you have an undesirable person on your friends list.
I see, but I mean, that's
no.
not the problem of the whole system. I mean, the whole system can be nice, but
how is tracking people's every single action and movement in a society and then deeming them an enemy of the state by who they associate with? How is that not fucking terrifying?
I mean,
that's terrifying with me.
I mean, this is terrifying, but not the whole system. I mean, the whole system may work if not being treated as a beaming light for crimes of childhood, or not being a young pioneer, or whatever.
Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's that sort of shit that they're talking about. It's that sort of system.
Yeah.
Where if you associate with someone who is not party approved, you yourself suffer as a result.
How could it be? How could it be put to a good use? How could you flip this around? Like, so someone has like a score of 80. Why do they get that score? Is it because they're actually doing good into the community, you know, community crops or whatnot, or helping an old lady across the street? Or is it a reward system for being, what is it? You know,
Sorry, KK.
Well, I mean, instead of it being a reward system rating for when you support the party line, how could it be turned into something else where you get 10 points for helping an old lady across the street? Sorry, I had my notes mixed up.
You just say her, hey, old lady, can you please hit me up on the social left book and give me some points?
Oh god,
please.
There'll be a black market. Like,
smash that like button, man.
Yes. I believe that I understand what Paul is trying to say here. Like, if we, for example, say that, oh yeah, you're doing initiative, like you are volunteering to like do some interesting stuff to help the community. Good job. You planted a couple of trees on the weekend. Hey, good job, my boy. Here comes some 10 points your way. You know, and then you're like, oh, look, this person is actually really good to the community. We should support him.
And then you start planting some wrong trees, and you get a bullet.
Bullet in the head, obviously, because those were the wrong trees. But
the wrong
no,
trees,
I can see that. But at the same time, I believe that to go to like bare numbers to attempt to support the initiative of the people. I believe that if we create democratic institutions that are able to
actually, guys, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but this is an urgent piece of news. Have you guys heard about the public execution in China?
Wait, what?
Which one?
They called people for public execution, and like executed people in front of a crowd.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, real shit. Not really long ago. I don't remember. Maybe last month in December or something like this. One of the East. I'll send this somewhere to the chat.
You can send it in the. You can send it in the chat. Yeah. Anywhere.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, what's the point? What's the news all about?
I mean, what the fuck? Public executions are they a thing of past or something? Is it somehow an entertainment or something?
I think they do that for the corrupted politicians. Like, I've heard that China still supports public executions.
They executed drug sellers.
Oh yeah, and drug sellers and
pusherman.
Yeah, the pusherman gets to be executed in the middle of the fucking town.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I wanted to finish the thought with the points.
I'm really sorry.
No problem. But like, we should remember that yes, China is crazy, and I believe that any government can go this crazy. And so, implementing the system that will be tracking shit is not really good. I believe that if we have a system that like overall democratically controlled social system that will be able to like, where if you do initiative, you will see that your personal life will be improving because of that. You know, that
made
a
for
system where
control
if you do,
and not improvement of society.
yeah, it's like when you, for example, work 1 hour more in your capitalist job, you know, like what good does it do? Like maybe it does some good, you know, but you don't see it, you know, at all. The point is that in the socialist system, you should do this good, an extra hour of whatever work, and you will see improvements. You will see the life improving in your community life or your personal life. There's only like for example, dedicate 1 more hour to helping out people in your community, feeding feeding the poor, you know. If we're talking about like a time and in a socialist building when it is needed, you know, you dedicate this and you see that like shit is going better than it used to. Like you plant more trees and you have a fucking park, you know, next to your house. Great.
Well,
like this sort of stuff. You know what I mean by this? Like, I don't think points will.
I think it'd be good if
do
we
good.
switched over to a different topic. What's wrong, Pacman?
All right.
Okay, Pacman's gone.
Pacman, are you here?
The Dolphins may have come for him.
I'm still here. Hold up.
Sorry,
I'm being
Oh,
talked
he's
to by 2 people at once. 1 minute.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, to shift to
All right.
what's coming in 2018, to keep it on topic though, with geopolitics and whatnot, we have Trump still, unfortunately, president of the United States in 2018. But what's coming up is the midterms. There's 33 seats, and every representative in the House going up for re-election in November, coming up in 2018. What this means is if there is a big shift away from the Republican Party, Trump will lose his legislative arm. The Republicans, there's a chance the Republicans could lose control of the Senate and the House. Do you guys think a big campaign to unelect a bunch of Republican representatives will happen? And if it can happen, is it going to have an impact on Trump and his presidency?
May I start? Because I have a really spooky thought.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this midterms will mean not more Democrats or like less Republicans being in charge, but more anti-Trump Republicans being in charge. Like, because if you look at the way, like there was a nice Vox video where they explained Overton window concept by showing how media in America today, TV especially, like cable, how they show debates. Like how usually it is done. They have one person which represents the left, one person that represents the right, and the mediator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's a member of a Democratic Party and a member of a Republican Party. They like talk to each other. Now, not only they usually have a third party in the thing, a fourth party, I would rather say, a pro-Trump Republican. Occasionally, they even don't invite Democrats anymore. They just have a Republican that is against Trump and a Republican that is for Trump. And this is why they have been able to push for tax cuts and social security programs cuts. Like, because all of a sudden, the like Sarah Palin types are the opposition, you know, in the eyes of the media. Like, therefore, it is. I'm really afraid that the midterms will not mean less terrible shit happening to the working class of American people, but rather more terrible shit being publicly accepted and normalized by the people. Like, because the left has fucked up real bad, and the Overton window is far to the right as it is like possible, in my opinion, in today's fucking first world country. It's crazy, and like it will be a good chance for the left to act, but I believe that the bigger fucking enemy to now is this moderate right winger, who's like, oh, I just want to tax the car. I don't want to be crazy and like attack Syria or I love Mexicans. Yes, Mexicans are my friends. Let's be friends and let's be so friendly and tax cutty, you know?
Let's not build
This
the
sort of
wall,
thing.
but let's still tax them for entering our country. That kind of thing.
Let's tax the rich more, yeah. And the people are like, oh, you know, it's actually not a bad idea compared to Trump, you know?
Well, compared to Trump, like a bag of toast is better.
Obviously, but like right-winger, crazy right-winger 5 years ago is not such a right-winger if you put him next to Trump, you know?
Yes, good point.
It's like it's not a big deal anymore all of a sudden. This is what I'm afraid of. Like, what's your take? What do you think, Paul? What do you think of the midterm?
I don't quite look up to this. I don't know the topic. That's why I'm silent.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a thing. Like it's every single day is a crisis situation because Trump tweets something, and every day Trump has a tantrum because he's told not to do something, and the news media coming out of America reports on it constantly.
Yeah.
And for me, at least, and I know a few of us just think, all right, America is just cut it loose and just let it kill itself. Just don't bother with it.
Mhm.
So the only news that's coming out of it is like, there's midterms. Like, oh, really? I don't care.
Well,
Nobody
actually-
cares about the midterms usually in America. They don't care about midterms. They just don't.
But
There is
no.
no hope.
Okay.
And
So
Posada's
America-
is back.
Okay. Pessimistic misanthrope in the chat says, "How do we better spread class consciousness?" Though, and I'm thinking, if we could come up with a way to spread class consciousness better, could the midterms actually mean something? Could we see the DSA starting to actually get seats in the House if we spread enough class consciousness? Do you think that's possible?
Midterms and BSA and midterms, DSA and midterms are just the instruments for spreading class consciousness. They're not a revolutionary, situations or organizations. Like, I love DSA because they make leftist ideas popular. If we support DSA, this will further the dialectic. This will sharpen the class consciousness because people will start thinking of themselves as more than just a Republican or a Democrat and up this binary thing two party thinking that America has, which is a very important thing to destroy if we want to create any sort of class consciousness in the American public. Therefore, I believe that if we look at I don't know what DSA is going to do. Unfortunately, I don't have people in the DSA that I know. And it's a real shame because I really want to meet those people and get them on fucking Bolshevik Bistro to talk about fucking
if
DSA
there's anyone
finally.
out there with contacts in the DSA, if you're in the DSA, like higher up,
Get us a DSA dude, like
please
an organizer,
come
a
on
member,
Bolshevik
whatever.
Bistro. We want to spread your message, goddammit. But
Exactly.
Why don't you just go on their contact us page and message them? I'm sure they'll send somebody.
I believe we
Maybe.
have.
Like, we can. I know, we can try this, but, I would really like a person who's really interested, who's in tune, who's familiar with us, or
Just
who knows.
hey guys, just imagine this situation. There are these guys, and one starts talking like, we got an email from some YouTubers, Australian and some Eastern European. All of a sudden, and they want to talk to us
About our
about
political party and whether we
Oh,
want to
yeah, yeah.
revolutionize and kill all the rich people.
It's like, oh my god, so people are interested. They're YouTubers. They want to help spread our message. Like, really? Do their politics align with us? It says something about
shitposting.
they're anarcho shit posters. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe some kind of news politics stream in left.
Yeah,
I don't know what
the
it
development in Marxist theory.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what quite it is, but they've got hammer and sickles everywhere and a lot of memes. So
Yeah.
let's do it. I don't know
is a
why
good
the
indicator.
DSA suddenly
Actually, guys,
inspired.
if you allow me, I would love to speak out about one musician that I've came over. Uh, she's British,
What?
and she speaking about class conscious though. I mean,
Okay.
if you allow me, I want to introduce this woman. She's really great, and I mean, look up her live shows. She's spreading, the ideas of uh, something like you're not your life is not up to you or even your family. It's about how you live with others and communicate with others, and how you can decide how will you live in the future as a class, as a society, and shit like this. She's really great. Her name is Kate Tempest, as I remember. Check her out, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
thanks.
kind of hoping that. I mean, I got into a massive fight with, let's be honest, some tankies.
Okay.
When is anybody ever
Okay.
not fighting with tankies?
No, but
Constantly, dude.
I got into a fight saying that reformism is literally the root of all evil.
Oh, of course it is.
What? Why?
We must
Because-
align with the fascists to defeat the Sogdems. That's
Oh,
the only way forward.
God,
Oh
We
shit!
don't understand the danger of reformism.
that's
The
horrifying.
thing that I like about this stream is that the shit escalates so quickly that you can't even track
These
this.
aren't hot takes, they're motherfucking nuclear takes.
Exactly.
They're my kind of takes, they're positive takes. Although I'm not going to give myself too much credit, but I think every time I am on the stream, it just sort of like, it actually does naturally accelerate.
It does.
It actually does. I sort of propose something so mind-bogglingly retarded that everyone's like, no, it couldn't possibly. But yes.
But then, like, you say something like completely ludicrous, and then we're like, "But what if?"
But what if? What if? No, seriously, anarcho-dengism, it's real. It actually is. It's starting to happen. It's Deng Xiaoping. Deng Xiaoping
Oh.
opened the floodgates and forbade it to flood.
All right, since we're vastly approaching almost an hour, let's just go through like what we're looking forward to coming 2018. I guess for me at least, it's I can't wait for the massive collapse to happen economically, so that there will actually be the conditions ready for us to rise up and to destroy the rich and smash the state and replace it with, the workers' control over the means of production. But more realistically, I can't wait for the co-op down the road from me to start and make pizza, so I can work there and have free pizza. That's my goal. Free pizza for 2018. Be great.
Cool, man.
Well, maybe that's what-
something I would stand up for.
No, TK, you, myself, Goulash, we all sort of move in together and we make a pizza shop.
Oh, that'd be
That's the
fucking
whole
kick
point
ass.
of the fucking cooperative.
A
so good.
pizza co-op, like we make pizza.
The Eastern Marshlands and Friends Pizza Cooperative.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Hey, but what if? Hey,
I know this sounds bad, but I'm now actually running through my head basic numbers on how we were to achieve that goal. Because I wouldn't mind working in a pizza place if it was run by communists for communists.
Same, dude. Same. Like
well, that's my goal for 2018. What about you guys? What are you looking forward to in 2018?
Not dying.
same.
Atomic annihilation? Nah, I'm just here for the memes.
I see. Like it's not about the nuclear thing. I'm just like open. I don't know what to expect from next week. What to talk about the next year or next month. I don't know like what happens. In my country, workers are so insecure that you don't know where will you end up like in the next month. And Eugene
This is
can
a very
agree with
sad
me on that,
moment.
yeah?
Yeah,
I know.
I'm still I'm doing a reflecting Belarusian look now.
Belarusian,
Unfortunately, can't see it. Belarusian angst. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea what's going on. I better waste all my money on something that can burn quickly. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to buy myself a pizza on my credit card. Fuck it. I'm gonna die anyway. Let's do this shit. It's like I know that the people are using the fucking credit cards to buy pizza. Like this is crazy. And like not like credit cards, you know,
Nihilism.
like they buy it's like it's just complete nihilism. It's so depressing.
Yeah.
It's like people are just pretending to be happy. Like stop.
Yeah.
Like in Belarus, it's obvious that they're pretending. Like everybody's
I
really
mean,
sad.
jokes aside, I mean, it's really happens that way that when we have some kind of Black Friday, let us say so, or when we have our currency collapse. From time to time, it happens, and you can see actually people with 3 refrigerators, 2 TVs in the shops. Everything's a mess. People buy themselves shit that they
Everything. They don't really
everything.
need. They
Like-
understand that they will lose the fucking money, and so they start buying like
and
fucking television and
investing,
everything.
short-term investments, guys. That's about
Yeah.
to lose.
Yeah, it's really insane, and like this is what happens when you have a socialist Marxist-Leninist instruments, right? Of social instruments, and then you introduce capitalism, and now all the fucking privileges are becoming an oppressive capitalist instruments, and now every single piece of the privilege is now a way for a capitalist to control you, not like a worker to self-manage. It's insane.
Hey, but anyway, Pacman, what's your life goals for
Well,
the upcoming year?
For you guys are all talking about the possible revolution. For me, the revolution has already started. Positivist revolution is now, people.
Explain.
Okay, well, basically, I don't know if you guys heard, but off in the Caribbean recently, I think it was the Caribbean anyway, or somewhat, basically a tropical island somewhere, an investment banker from Wall Street was on holiday, and he was recently eaten by a shark. Now, I'm not saying this is important for the future, but my sources, being in South Australia, I live near the area where Jaws, the film, was actually filmed.
Nice.
And so I am in commune with our shark brethren, and I've been reliably informed that the sharks themselves have actually formed their own freedom battalion at the moment, and they're currently working towards marine liberation. Basically, while unbeknownst to us, who have been sitting on our environmentalists have been warning us for years, unbeknownst to us, the pollution that we've been causing, that capitalism rather has been causing, has caused such a problem that it's actually accelerated the dialectic on the Earth's sea floors. So much so that our marine comrades are rising up to destroy the imperialists and the capitalists.
They're class conscious.
Does
this mean does this mean we're going to have to accelerate global warming to melt all the ice caps, to raise
exactly, yes, we need to raise the sea level,
so that our shark comrades can make it on like closer to the rich to eat them?
No,
Exactly.
I think it's time for a shout out for those who listen to this right now, who is listening to this. Guys, please breathe faster so that you will produce more carbon dioxide and yeah.
Everybody, quick!
We
start
know
breathing
it's
in and out.
hard. We know it's hard. Like,
are you doing your part?
Everybody, go cut down a tree. Cut down a tree. Volunteer to a fucking lumber mill in Brazil.
A tree, we'll be fine, and our shark comrades will save us. So start cutting down them trees, and I can already hear anarcho-primitivists screeching from across the road.
Don't listen to them. They are extremely undialectical. They are really idealists. We should volunteer as the fucking lumberjacks in Brazil. Like this is what we should do. This is my plan for 2018. Actively participate in deforestation.
He said, "Do your part. Burn your trash."
Yes.
Not only that, you know, we need to radicalize our fish comrades further because you see, let's be honest, the dolphins are already radicalized. They've been spreading the word. The
We
blue
have
whales
to
have
raid Melbourne Aquarium and
been, and liberate.
radicalize the fish there.
No, but even worse, you see the sharks and the dolphins are already radicalized and spreading the revolution. The penguins are waging the marine war on the South Pole. They're already seizing ground.
Insurrectionary Penguinistan is a go.
Exactly, exactly. You know the Antarctic base, like I can't remember what it was called, the Explorer base in
yeah.
Antarctica. I am reliably informed that penguin gorillas are already working now to achieve victory over the occupiers. They will remove.
By the way, do you know what is situated on the? Is it the northest or is it the southest point of the planet Earth? It's the Lenin bust, because the
Yes.
Soviets were the last to be on the southern pole, and this is the unreachable fucking point that they had a base there. There was the last fucking base operational on the South Pole point, and they have a fucking Lenin statue there. So I
Brilliant.
believe that the Penguins must seize it and use it at the basis of operation.
Exactly.
That's like, did you guys place 4? You place the
Yes.
monolith that accelerates the evolution or something, and next thing you know, you have a civilization there. That's the point.
Oh my god, the aliens have already been here, and they've put up
The Lenin
Lenin in Antarctica.
Yes, not only that, this is what the Lenin statues are all about. It's the monoliths.
Yeah.
This is
Oh
why
my
Ukrainians
God,
are degenerate.
Lenin statues are
Because they
monoliths.
removed all the Lenin statues. This is why they're basically apes now.
We are through the looking glass here, people.
That's it.
Oh
We know. We figure out what's up with the aliens, where the aliens have been all this time. We know about the sharks and the dolphins and penguins, and we know why Ukrainians are degenerate. Job done for today, people. We can go home.
Lenin golems. Lenin golems. That's all they are.
All I'm gonna say is just to sort of ring it up. I did have a quote from one of our shark comrades. We translated via the dolphins. The dolphins translated this for me. Apparently, their unit's new motto, their Freedom Battalion's motto, is "Et pisce amiciis ita et dives in cibum," which means, translated from Latin, is "Fish are friends, eat the rich."
I mean, why would dolphins translate into Latin? Well,
because those are smart and dialectical sharks that read Karl Marx. I'm pretty sure you haven't read Capital. Those are smart sharks. Don't offend.
All right, guys.
They're intelligent, fucking working class shark people.
I think it's time to wrap up. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to smash that bell button to stay up to date with everything Eastern Marshlands.
Smash it like the state, boys. Smash it like the state.
You can even go to easternmarshlands.com to stay up to date with everything. I want to thank Paul, Positive Pacman, and Eugene, and Goulash Guy for joining us. I've been TK Jones, your host. Thanks for coming.
It was the best fucking episode ever.
hey guys,